Welcome back to With an Accent, podcast of Universidad Cattolica. Today from Bogotá, Colombia, in this very special episode about the holidays. Today, in this episode, we will talk about what it feels like to be far from home in these very special occasions, and also the feeling that you get when you're back to where you're from and you get to celebrate it with your close ones. Am I hearing this sort of cumbia, whatever? Why is this podcast all of a sudden sort of like a video blog? Well, this is our very special episode for the Christmas edition, where I'm gonna share with you a bit of my Colombian Christmas and my culture. So welcome back to With an Accent, podcast of Universidad Cattolica de Sacro. In this very weird but very special episode, I'm gonna be sharing a bit about my Christmas, and I'm gonna be hopefully asking you guys that on the comments on YouTube, on Spotify, if you actually like us on social media, please like us, to share also what it is for you to celebrate Christmas and how you guys celebrate Christmas, but also a bit on also that struggle that we all internationals feel when we're alone for the first time for Christmas. I think it's a tough one. The first time on the holidays, when you're not with a family, when you're not sharing those intimate, close moments. And I feel those are all parts of your growth as an international student. Today specifically, I want to share with you guys a bit of how I am celebrating my holidays back in Colombia. It's my first time here in almost a year and a half, and it's crazy and it's been insane, and I've been overwhelmed with emotions. But today I want to tell you about one of our most important and most precious celebrations and one of my favorite days of the year. It's called El Día de las Velitas, or the Day of the Little Candles. The Day of the Little Candles was a celebration. El Día de las Velitas is a celebration that Colombians have done for years before the night of the Immaculate Conception of the Virgin Mary. Of this day that is commemorated and celebrated that day is because in 1854 the Vatican decided to celebrate the dogma of the Immaculate Conception of the Virgin Mary. Interesting thing is that day on the Vatican, all the people got together and lit thousands of candles to commemorate that day. But in Colombia, that same image became really important. Two small regions that we have, Quindío and Risaralda. In these two regions, it is told that there was an itinerary priest. That priest was unable to give out every night the mass in each of the little multiple towns. So it is said that the people from both those regions decided that to guide the priest to their town is that they would have to light up the path with tons of candles to show him the way. The day of the Immaculate Conception of the Virgin Mary then became fundamental for Colombians, because since those regions started lighting up the candles to guide the path to the priest, the celebration has fully changed and evolved with us. To some families, those lights light up the path for God to come to you and to your family. For some others, like mine, when you light up one of these little candles, each one of them represents both a wish and something you're thankful for. Every time you light up one, that little candle represents that you're hoping for and all of your expectations. Crazy thing is, last year I was in Arco de la Pace with a lot of people that I didn't know celebrating Christmas, and that's how holidays change for everyone, their experience of what it means to have a holiday, this Christmas and this holiday season. Because for each of us, the experience changes. I had it with some friends. Some people had it with family that they hadn't seen in years because they were here in Europe as well. Some people had to had it on their own. And this is the part of also moving abroad that no one really talks about. So yes, Velitas is very important for me and for my family because it's a time in which we share our wishes for the year, in which we share what we'd experience, what the year has meant for us. And it's super important because basically it's a time in which you can sort of reflect on what the year has been. And for each little candle that you put, and for each wish and each second that you're there with your family, it sort of feels like a warmth in the heart and a thank you that you cannot describe, and that I'm sure all of you have when you celebrate your holidays. That is also why last year was so hard for me, because it was being far away from my friends, from my family, from my loved ones, and sharing those moments with them, sharing Velitas, sharing that warmth, that, I don't know, that light that you cannot describe when you put every little candle, when you see the Christmas lights around the city, when you see the weather of Bogotá, how it is today, blue and beautiful. That really lightened up your mood and made it a bit hard to be in Milan. Although, as I was saying, it really made me resignify what Christmas is, what being with my friends is, and what celebrating is in many ways. Because this day has always meant a lot for my family, has always meant a lot for my mom, has always meant a lot for my dad. Because it's a day in which we share our dreams, we share our expectations, we share our hopes for the year. And it's a day in which basically we get together and we get to share our food. We get to share what our year has been like. We listen to the music that we only listen to in December. To hold each other close and feel like it's home. But that is the second thing that this episode seeks to do. And is, guys, if you're alone right now at home, if you're celebrating Christmas or if you're celebrating the holidays in a different way, that is also part of your journey. And that is also something that you have to learn to go through. Last year, I remember it was so hard for me not to have those days. Yeah, Las Velitas, the day of the little candles with my family, or to spend together the 24th, because we Colombians celebrate on the eve of the 24th, not on the 25th, like a lot of other countries. But part of the experience of moving somewhere else, and part of that transformation that you have to go through, is that you have to resignify what it means to be far from home. And that is also amazing. Learn that friends can also be family, and that friends become family. You learn to have new customs, to do new things. For example, I remember last year I had panettone for the first time on December, and I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was so nice as a tradition. Or also, last year was the first time I experienced a Christmas market in the center of Milano. This amazing Christmas market and this beautiful Christmas lights that made me feel less alone. So guys, in this short but hopefully interesting episode about the holiday season, this is just an invitation of you guys to embrace the reality that you guys are on, and hopefully you get to enjoy this little montage of Colombian holidays. So thank you guys. You've been listening to this special episode of With an Accent of You've been seeing. Hopefully we get to see you next time. There's a lot of new episode coming next year. Thank you for following the podcast. Thank you for being part of this journey that we all go through. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy this idea of resignifying these times of the year that are so important for many of us. And see you next year. See you next year with a lot more interviews and with a lot more of the journey that all of us as international students have to go through to finally feel we belong. In this episode, we want to wish you a very, very, very happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. I think it's the right word. Sorry, English is not Englishing. It's por Colombia. It's because of Colombia. And see you next year. Happy Christmas and happy holidays. Ciao, ciao.